Hello.
Test it one more time.
1, 2, 3, testing.
Okay. Stop.
Yeah. Lady.
Yep, microphone's on.
Okay, the microphone's on.
You just set it down in front of her.
Yeah, okay.
Start when, date.
Oh, when did it all begin?
I don't know the year.
Back in, what, 54, 55?
Something like that.
Way back in the summer 55.
We used to belong to the YMCA, and they had a club that was called the Young Adults Club,
The outing club.
or outing club. And we used to have square dances and Friday night dances and all sorts of things like that, which we went to. And let's see. They had square dances, and we'd go to square dances. That's where David Hartley's grandfather, I should say, was the
Caller.
caller.
Oh, wow, what a small world.
Yeah, and that's where we met the Hartleys. And so we went to the square dances, and then we were in the square dances. We eventually were square dancing in a TV show in Chicago.
Yeah.
The
Pee Wee King.
Pee Wee King show, and that was on TV. And then Pee Wee King came to Joliet, and we square danced on the stage in Joliet a couple of nights. And well, one thing led to another, and
And I popped a question, and she said yes.
But did you date? I
That
mean,
was
where
the
did you
last
go on
thing I
your date?
remember.
Talk
Well,
about that. How did you kind of,
okay,
Because you went in this group most
we
of
were
the time,
both
right?
we were both teaching in Lockport. I
Oh,
taught
I
at
lost
Cheney,
a bet.
and he taught at Taft. And
I lost a bet.
yeah, well, he had a girl in the spelling contest, and I had a girl in the spelling contest, and
We had a chicken dinner ready on it.
yeah, he bet a chicken dinner. The one whose girl dropped out first had to buy a chicken dinner. So we went out for.
I lost.
But you won.
I
We went out.
That's right, you lost, but you won.
We went to what's the name of that place that's down?
Stefanich.
Stefanich's, which are very famous for chicken in Joliet. Used to be anyway. And then we went to see the movie Marty.
Ah, okay.
That was, I guess that was our first really date. And we went to a teacher's institute, and we snuck out and went bowling.
Ah, okay.
Okay, well, that's on tape.
Yeah.
And
Of course, what happened, we tried to sneak in, and it was in the, was it the Rialto? No, it was in the high school.
the Joliet Central High School.
And it had a balcony, and we tried so quietly to sneak in, and we were going up to the balcony, and all of a sudden, plop, she fell down. Everybody
off
in
the
the
steps.
place turned and looked at us, you know.
Oh. I don't even remember that.
I remember. Well, my superintendent the next day said, well, we knew you were there.
Good, that's what the point was, right?
We heard you fall, or whatever.
Oh. I don't know. All that one summer we went to square dance out at Highland Park. Out there in
The pavilion.
East Joliet. And we'd square dance. That was our date. He was going to school all summer, and let's see, I was going to school too, and we'd come home weekends and go square dancing. And I wasn't going to school. I'd already started teaching. He was teaching too. That was before then, yeah. But I don't know. He popped the question one day when we were out in the park.
And that was it.
Well, how'd you do it?
I
Did you have a
don't
ring,
know.
or did you get on your knees, or?
No, it was in a car. Parked out in
car?
Lover's Lane somewhere.
Oh, busted. Lover's Lane, huh?
I think it was, wasn't
I
it?
think we were sitting under a tree in the park, and
Park.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You gotta make up a good story like that.
Yeah, yeah. So did you have a ring already, or?
No,
No?
we went in, the day we went in for a ring, I guess my mother told us that there was a place in Chicago that we could get our rings.
It was my brother.
Was that, oh, your brother?
He gave
Yeah.
me a card. It's
Oh.
Burgess, I guess. It was in this one building in Chicago that was filled with nothing but jewelers. And we got in there, and the place we tried to get in was closed.
Everywhere was closed. It was Saturday. All the Jews were,
It was
Sabbath.
Ah,
Nothing
some
was
big
open on
Jewish
Saturday.
holiday, and some guy came out of a back room, and he says, "There's nobody here today." He says, "Everybody is in the synagogue at their, and he says, "I'm supposed to be there, but I'm not."
It was
And he
probably
says,
Yom
"Come
Kippur
with
or
me,
something.
I give you a good deal." He gave me a good deal. One thing I'll say about Jewish people, they have a high respect for education.
Yeah, he
When
found
he
out
found
we were.
out we were teachers, that helped.
yeah.
So now, how was the planning of the wedding?
Oh gosh.
What was that? Was it a
She did
year? Was
everything.
it? How long did you plan?
Oh, we were married that fall. He popped the question in around June, and we got married in October, and we had the wedding at Theodore Street before they built the big church. And
Who was your best man and
Maid of honor.
maid of
Oh,
honor?
my brother was the best man. Her sister was the,
junior bridesmaid.
yeah.
And Shirley was the maid of honor.
And
And
your sister was in it too, right? Aunt Margaret?
yeah, she was only about 10 years old.
Oh, okay.
And we had our reception with cake and down in the church basement, and that was on a Friday night, and Monday morning he had to go back to work.
So you didn't do the honeymoon?
Yeah.
No?
Well, we went to Chicago the first night, and then we walked up and down the street in Chicago
Rush Street?
on Saturday, and decided that we'd just go back to. I think we stayed in a place in Naperville, or we went to a Swedish bit of Sweden restaurant in Naperville, and then we came home, and I didn't have to go to work on Monday, but he did. that was our honeymoon.
That's cool. That's cool. So, let's see. We have some more stories, right? Let's see. Pick a story.
Pick a story.
Yeah. One of the, I mean, you got
Most
50
memorable.
years. 50 years of marriage.
But you're traveling to Oregon or...
You know what? When we had old Betsy. Tell us about old Betsy. That's true. Remember that? I mean, I was little at that time, but...
The pink car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, we had, what was a Nash Rambler station wagon. He bought that just before we got married.
Studebaker, wasn't it?
No, the Studebaker was the second car.
Oh, okay.
We had the pink Nash Rambler, quite a long time. I mean, we had that until we left Oregon. We drove it. We tried to drive it back to Illinois, but it broke down on the highway because we had too much stuff packed into it, and we were pulling a big trailer, and it couldn't take it over the mountains and stuff. And then all of you kids had the flu. Every one of you were throwing up all over the place. And so we pulled into we broke down, luckily, right not too far away from a motel, and got a room there. And the next morning he went into town and came back with a Studebaker. It had a sliding roof.
Sunroof, I remember that one. A white station wagon.
Yeah. And
we had that when we lived in Lockport.
yeah, we had that when we lived in
Lockport had lots of hills, and that darn thing would slide open every time you went up a hill.
Yeah, well, it was pretty handy when we moved into our house, why we could carry the refrigerator and all kinds of stuff in it.
Well, you can carry the piano back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we first got to Lockport, we moved into a house that was next to the school, the Taft School. And they were going to move the house, either tear the house down or move it across the street. I don't know if they decided what they were going to do with it yet. Because Galogles had lived in it for several years, and then the school, they had moved out and gotten their own house.
Well, the Meekles moved in after. It was there for a while.
And anyway, we were there for about 3 weeks, and we got an apartment over there in
Bonnie Bray.
Bonnie Bray. And that was an adventure too. We woke up one morning with police all over the place.
Yeah, we were completely surrounded by police.
Yeah.
I got up, I looked out, and I says, you know, we're surrounded. Well, the guy in the next duplex from us just went out and killed the guy.
Oh, jeez.
And he was a guard at the prison. And I just wonder how he got treated when he got back in prison, being a guard and then being sent back.
Yeah, not pretty. That's something you want to do.
I don't know, he broke into this house and started to assault this one woman. Her husband was in the next room. I guess the young girl was sick, and he was with her. He heard the commotion when he walked in. The guy turned on him and shot him and killed him.
Oh.
And then he came back. The woman in the next apartment was not very clean.
She had about 6 kids, and the water and electricity and everything had been turned off for all summer already.
And so there were diapers piled up. And
This was before,
Plastic.
before,
Disposable.
yeah, before disposables.
Oh.
And they were looking for the gun in this apartment.
the guy had hid the gun underneath all these
All the
diapers.
diapers.
Good place to
Oh,
hide it.
yeah.
They never found it, did they?
Oh, yeah, they
They
found
found
it. And they came.
They
to our
wanted to
door.
know if they could watch.
Could we wash ourselves, please? Oh, they were going through all these diapers. The sheriff at that time was Trisna. He's from our old neighborhood down on Londo Avenue. And yeah, and the lady next door never slept. She was up all hours of the night cleaning, and they asked us, well, did you see anything unusual last night? And I said, no way. I was sound asleep. And I said, well, ask the lady next door. She never goes to sleep. And they did. They asked her. She said, oh, yeah. At this time, there was a car pulled in.
She knew everything, huh?
What?
She knew everything.
She knew exactly what happened. And of course, we looked out when the police were going up and down the street with metal detectors, you know, trying to find the gun. Well, they found it under all the
All the
that
diapers.
woman was, she was,
Well, what she did, she had 6 children, and when she wanted to take off, well, she would find some church women and tell them that some story about that she had to go out of town and she had this emergency and she needed somebody to watch the children, and so they would this was only supposed to be for a couple of days, and they would take the children. Of course, they came with no clothes or anything, and they would go scrounge up clothes and get these kids all lined up with clothes and everything, and then she might come back in a couple of weeks, you know.
a couple of months.
And she was well known for this all over.
But we were warned, thank
Yeah.
goodness, before.
Yeah,
Don't let her do this to you.
yeah. Don't let her in, and don't tell her that you will watch her children. So we were fortunately warned, or we might have had six more children.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, when we had a cat that we brought back from Oregon. We had Tagoo. Do you remember Tagoo?
I remember Tagoo.
And
Awataku Siam.
yeah,
How about
and when we were there in Bonnie Bray, Tagoo ran away. Got outside and ran away. Or somebody took him in anyway, couldn't get back home. And we looked and looked for him. And I guess we put up a thing in the store, and somebody called and said they had found him. So Tagoo came home, and the first thing he did was run up and give all of you kids a good sniff. From one to another to another.
That was his home.
And so we had him until we moved